Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of Terraform. My name is Tia from DevOps Easy Learning, and today we'll be going through Terraform configuration language. Terraform code is basically stored in plain text, right? And the extension is called .tf extension, and it can also be .tf.json if you want to write your Terraform code in terms of JSON, because Terraform also support JSON, and Terraform was kind of created by HashiCorp, right? And the language that Terraform use is called HCL, which is HashiCorp configuration language. And I can have one example here just to create an EC2 instance, and we'll go through this example and see what this resource provider, like a resource AWS_instance example, all this mean, right? We'll talk about the argument and also the argument value and the tags. If we see here, the first block here is what we call the provider block. The provider block will basically tell Terraform in which cloud provider do we want to deploy, and also in which region do we want to deploy. In this case, basically, we want to deploy this resource in AWS, and the region should be US is 1. And here we have the block type. The block type here is called resource. This is a keyword block type, which is called resource. And what resource do we want to deploy? We want to deploy an EC2 instance. This is going to change every single time based on the resource that you want to deploy. Let's say you want to deploy a VPC or an S3 bucket or an EKS. This is going to change, and you can refer to the Terraform documentation to grab the right one if you don't know. And we have here an identifier for the resource block. This identifier basically is used in Terraform state file, right? When you deploy your resource in AWS, you will not see this identifier, and you need to be very, very careful with this identifier. There is a PS here, some resource type, right? Same resource type cannot have the same identifier. The identifier must be unique. What does that mean? If you have a resource that is already like AWS_instance and you put identifier as example 1, if you duplicate this resource and you don't change the identifier name, Terraform is going to complain, right? Same thing, like maybe in Jenkins file, when you create a stage, the stage name should be unique in your Jenkins file. You cannot have the same stage with the same name. The same thing apply here. The identifier should be unique in your Terraform configuration file. You cannot have 2 resources with the same identifier. If you have that, Terraform is going to complain. And here we have arguments, right? Arguments are just key value pair. And when you want to create a resource using Terraform, you can refer to the Terraform documentation. For instance, let's say you want to create an EC2 instance. There are some required argument and some are basically optional. And if you want to know which argument is required and which one is optional, you can always refer to the documentation on how to create an EC2 instance. And you are going to see all the argument that you can basically punch in this section. In this case, we have an AMI. If you want to create an EC2 instance, an AMI, it is required. It is not optional. The instance type also is required. The key name is required, right? The subnet can be optional, but if you don't put the subnet, what will happen is that Terraform is going to use one subnet within your default VPC. And also, if you don't create a VPC, if you don't put the VPC security group, which is not also required, what will happen is that Terraform is going to create a VPC and open only port 22, and it will call that a launch wizard, right? By default, it's going to do that. But If you specify one, that is cool. And the next portion here, we say we have the key, we have argument. We have argument key to the left, and to the right, we have arguments value, argument key and argument value. And the next thing here is going to be what? It's going to be the tag, right? And what is the tag? Tag are just like a label that tell us more information about the resource. Like also in Kubernetes, you can label a resource, right? Labels are what? Labels just help, or let's say even in Docker file, when you put label, what does that mean? Label is just for more information. And tag also, let's say you want to create a resource in AWS, you can just put this tag. As we can see here, we have a name, environment, project, the owner, the department, and the custom tag. You can customize this based on your need, right? Every company out there will have the way that they name their own tags, right? You customize this thing based on your need. And we basically explain every single thing here. And the tag here is defined in terms of map, and in terms of map with a key and also value. That means tag here is key, value, pair, and it is really useful in Terraform, right? You can define the tag and use that tag to create all your resources. But for instance, there is one here that I didn't mention, create by. Let's say somebody check the tag here, he know already that the resource was created by Terraform or not. That's it for this video, guys, in terms of Terraform configuration language. This can help you a little bit if you're still a beginner and you still want to learn Terraform. Please, if you like the video, let us know in the comment below. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so that when we publish a new content, you will be notified. And also follow us on like on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. Bye-bye. Thank you.